Oh, let's do this. Are we ready to get inspired this morning? Good morning to you and welcome in to the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, and nope, we're not doing the yeehaw anymore. We are back from Fredericksburg, Texas. I actually missed that intro. And let me just again compliment Zach Kimball for an incredible job done. And it was a whirlwind, but so much fun, but a very long 14-hour drive, or it took longer than that. Actually, we had a few stops. So we left about 7:15 in the morning, got home here because we had to drop Zach off a little after 10 o'clock last night. So a wonderful trip. And you saw some of the live shows. Tell me what you enjoyed, by the way. Hopefully you had a chance to see some of them. If not, the beauty of streaming is they're all there for you to go back to. And then next week, we still have some features we didn't even get a chance to show you because we really did squeeze so much in to a 3-day time period. So the the National Pacific War Museum, we have a beautiful feature on that. Wild Seed Farms, which you have to go to see the blue bonnets and all the beautiful wildflowers. That's still coming up next week. And then our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday coming up also with Coordinates Vineyard. So still some things that we put on hold that we've got on tap for you. And then a wonderful Foodie Friday with Hill and Vine Restaurant. So we have a carryover as we go into next week. And then let me know if you've ever been to Fredericksburg, Texas, and what you loved. And if not, what you loved about what we had a chance to show you. So a lot to come up for sure. Good morning. Tell everybody we're back from Texas. We're back in St. Louis with you. And we want to know what the heck is going on with the weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
Well, good morning to you, Beckett. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I feel like I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. So how has your week been?
It's been good, but the weather's actually been pretty nice, except for the raininess we had on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we've had a couple of showers there yesterday on Thursday, and expecting that as we head into this weekend as well.
Yeah, and I was trying to keep an eye on everybody back in St. Louis. Did I see some tornadoes that happened? Was it outside of our immediate area?
Yeah, outside of our immediate area in Illinois, there was an EF0 tornado and an EF2 tornado Wednesday.
Was there something also that happened in Potosi?
I did not see that, but
So I know a lot of people were talking about, again, different weather and some severe weather that you had earlier in the week, but we're hoping we don't have anything like that. So I did put rain behind us. I was asking Beckett, is it clouds? Is it rain? Is the rain continuing into the weekend?
yeah, we're going to see that rain continue into today and then into Saturday, but by Sunday it should move out of our area, but keeping those clouds and rainy conditions pretty much the entire weekend.
All right. Well, I know a lot of you are making plans, and here's the deal. I just want to say this from the get-go. You have a very busy drive into downtown. I was looking at it, Beckett. The Cardinals are in action tonight. The Blues are in action tonight. We're heading to see River Dance at the Fabulous Fox, which opens up tonight. The Battlehawks are in action tonight. Whew, good luck in traffic. Let's see if it's going to affect them as they're driving to all of that. So take it away, Beckett.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be something to think about tonight. Definitely a longer drive into downtown. 57 degrees right now in St. Louis. Sunny skies for now, but we will have increasing cloud cover as we head into this afternoon. High around 70 today, and those showers are going to be increasing as we head into this afternoon. That sunshine is going to be decreasing. Now, before we get into the 7-day forecast, I did want to mention we just got out of April, and it was on record the rainiest April in St. Louis. Heavy rains on April 4th, 19th, 20th, and 29th led to the greatest total precipitation yet recorded in the months of April, and we beat the 1893 record by 100th of an inch. So pretty crazy stuff right there. And then looking at the 7-day outlook for this upcoming weekend, we got 69 as our high today, 50% chance of those showers as we head into the afternoon. Tomorrow, 70% chance of rain throughout the day, high around 63, high around 62 on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies. Then we do start warming up as we head into the work week, mostly cloudy skies on Monday, but warming up to 67. And then back into the 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with both rain chances on Wednesday and Thursday.
All right. Well, we definitely came home and the grass was this high. I'm like, they can't get out there. So hopefully they have a break to be able to get the lawn cutting done for sure. What do you have on tap this weekend, Beckett?
Let me think. I don't know really.
Nope. You need to go to one of those games that are taking place tonight. If
Yeah, we
not,
went to one last weekend.
oh, you did. So will you be watching the Blues tonight, or what? Are you a
Yeah,
Blues
probably the
fan?
Cardinals or the Blues, yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Well, let's cheer them on. So good to see you again, and looking forward to see you again on Monday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, folks, that is Beckett Moore, our aspiring meteorologist. And as I always tell you, please do me a favor and follow him on his YouTube or his X channels. He really is fantastic, is he not? Can you believe he's only 15? It's just crazy to me. All right, 7:07 again. Good morning to all of you that are signing on. I see you. Welcome back to reality. Jenny says, yeehaw, right. Good morning, good morning, good morning across the board. Let everybody know that we are back and we're going to have our Friendship Friday on tap. Do you remember the real estate, the hot seat that we put you all in, meaning that you interact with us? Well, we've got Fleshman coming up in just a few minutes. She is with Coldwell Banker Gundaker, and we'll let you know how you can find her when it's your time to buy or sell a home. Again, support those that support us. We always talk about that. She is a wonderful addition to our show. Once a month, we do real estate and Friendship Friday. So good morning, Julie. Good to see you on this morning. All right, let's start off with some news you can use. Did you all see this? A fan fell from a 21-foot wall onto the field during the Pirates game a couple of days ago, unfortunately in critical condition. So some of you may have seen this, or you're just seeing it for the first time. Pittsburgh Public Safety, which includes the Pittsburgh Police and the EMS, they posted on X last night that the incident is being treated as accidental in nature. Nobody pushed it. It wasn't like people were talking about, was there alcohol involved? Did somebody push him? No, the man fell from the Clemente Hall in right field at PNC Park during Wednesday night's game. Again, this was between the Cubs and the Pirates. Remains in critical condition, unfortunately, this morning. He was carted off the field after falling out of the stands during the seventh inning of the baseball game. And we continue to say prayers, obviously, for the person that is in critical condition, but absolutely crazy. By the way, a spectator at a 2022 NFL game at Pittsburgh's stadium died following a fall on an escalator. Just absolutely crazy. So some people are saying, should there be other security aspects in place so something like this doesn't happen again in the future? Of course, they will be looking into that. But the most important thing is, again, thoughts and prayers going out to that person. Parents also demanding answers after their 4-year-old is picked up from school, folks, with a blood alcohol content of 0.29. Now, these are those stories that we give you that you talk about and go, did you hear what Monica was talking about? This was in Mobile, Alabama. The parents, the mother, said when she picked her daughter up from school, the girl's body was limp. Their daughter spent 2 days in the ICU, folks, after she was picked up from school with that blood alcohol content. They said the school called them about their daughter's condition 2 minutes before school was dismissed. The mom says she described seeing her daughter as limp and nearly unresponsive. In the nurse's office, she was slobbering at the mouth. She was heavy. The teacher handed her to me saying we probably needed to take her to the ER. They rushed her to the hospital. She spent 2 days, as I mentioned, at the Children's Hospital there. The family said doctors discovered she had ingested a large amount of ethanol. Her toxicology report, again, showing her blood alcohol content 0.29. For context, okay, if she was driving age, her blood alcohol content would be nearly, are you ready for this? 4 times the legal limit to drive. Now, it's still unclear how in the heck she ingested the ethanol, which was, again, also known as ethyl alcohol, or where she got it as well. So the investigation obviously will continue into this, but I thought for sure that's something that you're going to be like, what? How does that even happen? And then did you watch Carrie? You remember the movie Carrie? Carrie star Priscilla Pointer died at the age of 100. Oscar-nominated Amy Irving, wrote on Instagram that her mother died peacefully in her sleep, hopefully to run off with her 2 adoring husbands and her many dogs, her mom said. Her career, by the way, spanned 6 decades. She was best known for playing formidable mothers in the TV series Dallas, the 1976 horror classic Carrie, and played Sue Snell, one of Carrie's bullies, and Pointer played Sue's mother. So I remember Carrie. That if that movie still comes on, it still freaks me out. It's the end, right? It's the ending and all. If you've never seen it, I'm going to spoil it for you, but it's an older movie. But the pig's blood and then the fire. Woo, that's a scary movie. That's one of those that you watch around Halloween for sure. Okay, the Blues. Are they going to be able to come out ahead and I hope so, because they're back on home ice tonight. I do want to tell you, though, that this could be working in our favor. One of the Winnipeg Jets will not be playing, as you can see, in Game 6 tonight. In fact, Mark didn't even make the trip to St. Louis, and he's a key player for the Jets. So hopefully, I mean, again, you never want to see someone injured or not be able to play, but he left in the first period of Game 5 on Wednesday night with an injury, did not return. So will the Blues be able to take advantage of that? Because that's a key player for sure. The Blues are in action. And as I mentioned, there's a lot going on tonight, and they are in town. It's the Jets and the Blues with the face-off at 7 p.m. Again, we're hoping that the Blues are able to even the series at 3 and then go back to Winnipeg for a Sunday game, and that puck would drop for you at 6 p.m. The Cardinals also in action tonight. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a busy one heading into downtown. They're licking their wounds. Look at that. They lost to the Reds 9-1. Today, the Mets are in town. First pitch will be at 7:15. And then the St. Louis City SC, I didn't get a chance to pull the slide up for this one quick enough, but I do want to let you know they are in action. St. Louis City SC, that's tomorrow, though. And it is a late game. They're in town, Seattle Sounders, 9:30 p.m. at the pitch. That is a late game for sure. I mean, I'm emceeing the KRSTL Gala with Julie Tristan tomorrow doing the auction. Jim goes, heck, he goes, by the time it's done, we could go over to the game in your gown, Monica, and go see that. It is also several things on tap for our National Day of calendar, including School Lunch Hero Day, National Space Day, National Life Insurance, and it's National Truffle Day. Ooh, truffles, that sounds good. I'm going to tell you right now before we take our break, a lot of people were asking me, how was the wine region in Fredericksburg, Texas? Incredible, folks. You know, they were being called the next Napa. You drive down the 290 wine trail and it's wineries from years ago, 50 years ago, Becker Vineyards. And we just featured them on Wednesday. Thank you, Nicole, for a wonderful tour around Becker Vineyards and sitting in the area where all the barrels are back, down below. It was beautiful there. Yes, Becker Vineyards, I highly recommend. Coordinates Vineyards, which we'll feature next week. Wonderful wine. And we're talking Texas wine. And then some of them, like Coordinates, they carry some South African wine. But yeah, I was super, super impressed. And I like my wine. So I went into it going, let's see how it is. I had people asking me, was it really good? Nothing out of my mouth is ever fake, right? It was fabulous. I'm giving Fredericksburg, Texas, by the way, 5 stars across the board. All right, a lot of you still signing on. So get everybody, text them. Let's get these numbers up. I'm seeing all of you as you pop on Facebook and you're like, oh, she's back. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Rumble, LinkedIn. We're on all of them this morning. Feel free to shout out to the community. You're always here together, and I love you all for it. We're going to take our first break, and then when we come back, we are going to feature my dear friend, Fleshman, and she is with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. So we're going to start off with some real estate news. How are things looking as we go from spring into summer? And then you get ready to find that house and maybe change because you want to get into a different school district before school starts back up in the fall. That's a thing, I know. We'll see how the market's looking. And then we're going to put you on the hot seat. So get ready to do this because we're going to ask you this house or that house. She's got some good ones. This is our hot seat as we go into the weekend. Don't go anywhere.
Is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carroll House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carroll House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
Welcome back, and thanks again for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. And again, we want to thank all of our sponsors. You just saw Brooke, Amy Dubman with Carroll House. We absolutely adore you. But it's also this beautiful woman, Fleshman. She is with Coldwell Banker Gundaker, along with Yuppie Puppy Pet Spa, Defiance Ridge Vineyards. Those are our regular, incredible sponsors, as you see there across the screen. My friend, it is so good to see you.
Good morning, Monica. It's always a pleasure to be on this with you. And I'm so happy to see you back in St. Louis safe.
Oh, well, and that was the biggest thing. Yeah, I asked God, travel safely with us and deliver us back home, deliver Zach back home, because after we dropped him off in Fenton, he still had to drive back to Illinois. So everyone, I can tell you, everybody made it home safely, which is a beautiful thing. Did you get a chance to watch any of the live shows or catch it on
I did.
replay?
Hilarious. They had some good times.
We did.
Down there.
And Zach is so happy to have come back with a cowboy hat.
We got my hat last time.
You found, again, Dot did it in St. Louis. We did it in Fredericksburg, Texas. But Dot, you've been through that customizing a hat experience. Isn't it cool?
I did. I didn't even know they did that. I mean, I just thought, how does everyone's hat work perfect? I put one on, it was like crazy. And they said, no, we're going to fit your head.
And they branded the hats. I mean, that's the thing that I think is neat.
Yeah, I've got my initials on my hat. You can't steal my hat.
Exactly. Those are my initials. I had MAQ put on the back. And then the really cool thing is, depending on how tall you are, right underneath the rim of my hat, it says, "Be kind."
Oh, nice.
Isn't that neat? I know. Shout out to the ladies at Felt Boutique. They did a wonderful job. So again, Kelsey and Hannah, we love you. It was wonderful, but I am happy to be back home in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. Wonderful trip, by the way, though. So how about a girls' trip to Fredericksburg? Because we just scratched the surface.
That sounds fabulous.
Sound good? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we are going to start off again. If you're just tuning in, so it's Dot Fleshman. She is a real estate extraordinaire, and it says right there, one of my dearest and best friends. We are going to talk first about the real estate aspect. And I just mentioned, so that's a real thing, Dot, right? There's people that when they start to think it's time, we need to move and we want to get into maybe a certain school district, that they're thinking of getting out. If not already, they may have already tried to do it. But if not, they might be trying to switch because they want to get into a different school district. So are they kind of behind the eight ball? Would they have needed to do that already? How's the inventory?
I mean, inventory has gotten better. It's just still on the low side. And I think, you're never behind the eight ball. I mean, you just connect. Everything's about communicating, with the schools. Some schools you need to be in by a certain time within that area. Some schools you don't. So it's just really communicating. But part of it is that, the market is still hot. The market is still busy. The market is still hot. From 2024 of last year, prices have gone up to, so the average house price is $265, and it went up about 11.6% from last year. So, it's still, the market remains competitive, very competitive. I mean, we've got some properties that it goes coming soon and then it goes active. And as it's coming soon and people are scheduling their showings, we already have people saying, we're going to put an offer in. Wow. So you have multiple offers on some houses. And then on some houses you have, if it's priced too high or if it's just not the right timing, and this rain.
Yeah. What is it doing to you?
Beckett, done with the rain, done with the rain. Open houses have just, listen, people who are, I don't want to use the word desperate, but people who are serious about trying to find a home, they're out there in the rain. I'm talking pouring down rain, and they're coming with their like little umbrellas and everything. But, it does keep people away. Most people don't want to be out and about searching and, in the downpour rain. So, and we've had a lot of that in the last month, but it's been a busy market. It's been so busy, Monica, as you can see. I still have my Easter up behind me. I had time to get Easter down. And I thought, oh my Lord, I'm supposed to have flowers up today. And I didn't have time. Easter's still up.
We give you a pass. We give you a pass for sure.
It's been a busy month. It really is. You're showing houses, you're listing houses, you're talking to people. There really is a lot happening in the market.
Well, again, and it's great to see. Or again, people are like, no, I want that house. But again, when you look at the value of your home, it's wonderful to see that again that the price is still going up, even with what many people are saying is a rocky economy. So I have been very interested in seeing how is it affecting our real estate market. So if you're just tuning in, if you have any questions, by the way, for Dot, please let us know. I also want to make sure that you know how to find her. So a couple ways: you can go online, .fleshman, .com, right, .com, .fleshman at cbrealty.com. And her phone number, by the way, is 314-324-3317. So the question always, of course, is buyer's market, seller's market. And looking at that, can you forecast, is it going to flip? anytime soon?
Oh, if I could forecast, I would be a millionaire.
Millionaire.
We can't really forecast that, sort of. I mean, we're still in a seller's market.
Yeah.
But the days on market have so the days on market are longer. It went from 25 days on market to about 36 days on market.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
25 to 36 days that your home sits on the market. However, there are homes that'll go active and then pending within hours.
Wow.
Hours. There's we have our business meetings every Tuesday, and there was a home in gosh, I forgot what area. I'm thinking it's like town and country out that way. And they listed it at $999, which is $1 million, and it's going over 250,000.
Oh my gosh.
So the value of the house is there, that the neighborhood is there, the structure of the house is there, the willingness for people to say, and it's different for someone who's got cash and they're not paying,
Right.
with a loan, et cetera. But I mean, there's crazy things happening out there. It's very interesting to hear some of the things that are out there, but there are homes on the market. We can find homes on the market. We do still send letters out to find homes for clients who are looking for a specific area. But I'm telling you right now, people, listen to me. If you have a home in Baldwin, call me. I can sell your home in 2 days. It's like
Why?
crazy because people want to live in Baldwin, and it's going over asking like crazy.
Okay, that's interesting because I had been going to physical therapy. I got to get back. John, I'm coming back. I promise you. He and his wife are looking in the Baldwin area. And I was like, oh, interesting. Baldwin. Why do you think? What's the big draw to Baldwin right now?
Well, school districts.
Oh.
So all the good school districts, close to everything. Drivability is, 30 minutes from anywhere. But I mean, there's a lot of beautiful neighborhoods in our whole city, county, St. Louis metropolitan area, but Baldwin's a hot market.
And guess what? And I was going to give him a shout out because I just joined. Crunch Fitness is coming to Baldwin right there at 141 in Manchester. They've never been in our area. Yes, Crunch Fitness. So they just opened up in Florissant. They are having their grand opening, the VIP, and then the grand opening the 20th and the 21st of May in Baldwin. So that's a big draw. You might all want to be thinking about that's where you want to work out. It's massive and absolutely beautiful. And they were doing like pre-sale. It's only $29.99 a month, Dot. It's just ridiculous. You got to come train there with me because I can bring you for free.
Bigger than
like a Planet and Club.
I mean, what was it? What was the big fitness?
Gold's
Big fitness center in Frontenac. What is that one?
Oh, Lifetime.
Lifetime. Is it bigger than that?
Yes. I mean, it's big, but bye, Mom. It's big, but you are not paying the prices of a Lifetime. I mean, Dot, I was paying $200 a month. And I finally was like, this is silly. And you got nickel and dimed, nothing against Lifetime. Again, I was there for a long time, but I was there and I would be like, okay, if I want to take this class, it's free, but then this class is costing. They're doing their big one right now at Crunch Fitness where everything is included. So I know you and I both love bar training.
Yes,
right?
yes.
They have this room called Hot Stuff. So it's not just hot yoga, bar and Pilates and all of that in the. I can't wait to take you because that's the thing. People can sign up, but I can take friends and whatever for free every single time I go in there. So that's another draw to Baldwin. So that might make houses even harder, Dot. I'm just letting you know. It is a big deal because they haven't been here. Yes. So if you're just tuning in, once again, let me reintroduce my guest because I've got a bunch of new people watching from all over now since we just came back from Texas. So, hey, Texas, if you want to move to our area, get a hold of Dot. She would love to be your real estate agent. We're talking right now, again, about the real estate market. And so let's go ahead and discuss that. If someone's traveling and they're going to be a transplant, how is the Missouri market looking?
I am so glad you asked that, Monica. It's a perfect question. So we did an open house a couple of weeks ago, and two, not one, people that came in to see the house out in the Lake St. Louis area are moving here from other states. One was coming from Colorado, and one was coming from I can't think right now. But part of it is the Midwest, and they had a whole study about. A new agent contacted me recently and said, "Hey, I just read this article about how the housing market is shifting down a little bit." And I said, "Let me read the article." And it was from a national newspaper. Okay, well, nationally, you've got the East Coast and the West Coast, and so they may be settling, but Missouri is a hot market. We are busy. Missouri right now is busy, and people are moving here because ever since COVID, remember, if you can work from anywhere,
Yep.
You can work from anywhere. And so,
Right.
yes, you can work from the beach, but again, you're paying beach costs for that house, and you're paying costs for East Coast, West Coast. So Missouri is getting a lot of clients moving in to our city, to our town, to our
Good.
counties.
Hey, we welcome you. We've got a lot of great things for you. It's again, coming from that beautiful Fredericksburg, Texas area, I can see why people want to travel there. I can see why people would want to move there. It's the same mentality we say here in St. Louis, Dot. I said, describe why. And they said, well, it's the small town feel with a big city heart. That's
Right.
us. I mean, yes, we've grown, and yes, we're bigger than that area, but it's still the small town feel and that Midwestern feel, even though, do you call us the Midwest, Dot, or do you call us the South?
The South? No, we're the Midwest.
But a lot of people
What's
call
the
us the South if they're in states above us. So
Oh, well,
yeah,
yeah,
we are considered a portion, not South, right? But we are
sure.
considered the South. Again, what do
Yeah.
you all think, by the way? Do you call us Midwest or you call us the South? Probably if you live here and you've been born here, you call us the South. Again, if you want to get in touch with Dot, and if it's not your time, just make sure that you share, hey, Dot's been on with Monica for a long, long time now, and this is a great real estate agent for you to look into. Yes, it is. Fleshman.com, Fleshman at cbrealty.com to find out more about her. So as far looking at this year compared to last year, from January through May, right? So almost 6 months here into this year, how have things been looking for you from buying and selling if you look at 2025 compared to 2024?
So much better. So
Yeah.
much better. We are getting back in 24. We struggled a little bit. I mean, people, we use words like that, but the reality is if you're looking for a house, we find you a house. We're able to do that. Coldwell Banker Gundaker is the number one real estate agency here in Missouri, and within for sure St. Louis. And part of that is working with a great agency and great people in our office. So there's not anyone that hasn't done something. So we're always connected, and we're able to win offers, get your house sold, all of those things. And it just feels good to work with professionals. And part of that is that we, our town or our city, there's so much goodness. Monica, you were just saying something earlier, but we've got like places like Baldwin, we got Chesterfield, we got Fenton, we've got St. Louis City. I mean, you can go anywhere and just say, this is a dollar amount I want to spend. This is the size I want, and let's plug it in. And we can find you some places. I mean, I've got some clients. In fact, that picture was a picture of my clients that I just posted. We just closed on a house, and they just moved out to Melville. So they're moving from Afton to Melville into a much bigger house. Gorgeous, beautiful house.
Congratulations.
And yes, they're so wonderful. And part of that is you can, we've said this before, if you don't like your neighbors, then we move. We don't need to stay. People don't stay in their houses for 45, 50 years
No.
anymore like they did back in those days. You have to accommodate the changes in your life as well. If you want to stop driving as far, you move somewhere closer, to kids. Like grandparents, that's not another big thing. I think, remember last time we talked about how families are, if they have a lot of kids and they can't buy a bigger home with more bedrooms, they're putting all the kids in the master primary bedroom.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. And so now you've got grandparents who are moving closer to the children because, once the kids move on and they have children and they're raising their families elsewhere, that's what they're doing. They're just moving closer.
Again, if you have any questions or comments, so Rose just said Lindbergh School District homes, is that not in demand anymore, or it still is?
Absolutely. Lindbergh is the number one school district. So yes.
Lindbergh and Rockwood, both of those?
Lindbergh
Parkway?
and Parkway.
Parkway.
Yeah.
Okay. So so good question, Rose. I for a future show, because we've got so much more we want to put into today's show for all of you. For a future show, Dot, I would like for you to look into, we did hot zip codes in the past, but here we are into a brand new year. I'd like to look at some of those. And what I really would like to know is, people always talk about how there's more and more westward expansion and southern. So are more people going, not just in Wentzville, because Wentzville was the hot thing of let's look for homes in Wentzville, but I want to look at Troy. I want to look at, Foley, other areas that are even pushing more west, and how it looks maybe over the last couple of years, because people are saying, well, hey, Lake St. Louis, packed. Wentzville, packed. You look at that Highway 6440 drive
Yes.
at about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not talking 4 and 5 p.m. It is
I
already,
know.
it's nuts. So
I know.
I'm believing that more and more people are heading out that way as well. I went to look into Southern. So Jefferson County, maybe into St. Francis County, maybe into St. Genevieve County, because we are seeing more and more traffic that I truly believe people are looking at. Hey, these counties are starting to build up and we can get more for our money, right? We can get more house for our money right now. But is that starting to shift? So that's for a future show, Dot. I'd like to look into that the next time you're on, because it would be interesting to see, can you get in now? And then that value is starting to really come up. Yeah. Good. Let's see. Okay, Stephanie says Midwest. My friends call me a transplant. Yes. Linda, some in our area too. Homes within the 250 to 350 price range were not in the market 24 hours sometimes, especially those with 5 acres. Land goes fast by me and a high price. So yeah, are people looking for property with, houses with property, or are they looking for more subdivision and not a lot to maintain?
Both. I mean, both. Both. I talk to clients all the time, and they definitely want, something that's got a lot more land. They want, trees and peace, and they have lots of animals, et cetera. And then there's people like me, and lots of people like me we're city folk. We want to be close to our neighbors. We want to live in a subdivision. We want to be close to everything. I mean, I can get to anywhere, quickly, because, everything's downtown. All the restaurants are down here. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that people look for. It just depends on, again, their life cycle. Like, where are they, on the journey? Are they trying to settle down? You get a little apartment, then you get a little house, and then you get a bigger house. And at some point you're like, done. I need to
go back.
And it goes right. Exactly. So it depends on where you are in that journey.
Well, and isn't that the great thing that, okay, and this is a good example, right? So Dot has talked with my husband, and Jim says all the time that he is wanting to downsize. Now, I agree with him. We just came back from staying in wine barrel cabins. When my friend Angela walked in, she said, well, I could live here. Like, literally the only thing I would want is, like, there's not a closet there. But if they added that on, she's like, Monica, all day I could live in a tiny home and just start downsizing and downsizing. I was like, I don't know if I could live here, but holy cow, was it cool. I agree, though, that you get to a point where suddenly someone's looking for this, our home, our 6 acres. And then it's like, here, can we just switch? You come here and I'll come here. We'll just switch homes. We need to do matchmaking in real estate.
Well, hey, I think there's a movie like that.
Is there?
Yes, there was a movie with, I can't remember,
you
but
swap
you
swap
everything, right? So, but what's interesting is, everyone's got, the things that they love and what they want, and it's out there. It's out there. We just gotta find it.
And she will. She works so very hard for them. That's what I love about Dot. Jenny said it's even worse out west. She lives in Wentzville with construction to make room for all these new home developments. Yeah, so I'm seeing all the development going right around that Wing Haven area. Again, if you're outside of our area, just hang tight, because we're going to let you play the hot seat in just a second. But Wing Haven and the streets, I forget what they call it, the streets of Caledonia, out there near the Wing Haven exit. And then you get into Wentzville. Yes, the construction's crazy. Linda says, I'm northern St. Francis County, Dot, and it's crazy busy. Traffic really getting nuts. People moving south and still traveling back north for work. A lot of people who live south, we're talking St. Genevieve and St. Francis, even Franklin County out west, that they are okay. They're used to doing an hour drive, working into downtown. But it's interesting how that's changed, because now people can work remotely. I don't want to forget about our Illinois viewers as well that tune in regularly. She said Columbia, Illinois has grown a lot since she's moved here. So maybe we look into the Illinois side as well of how things are looking in Illinois. Do you sell a lot of homes? Have you done a lot of homes in Illinois? No?
Well, I'm not licensed in Illinois, but for anyone who is looking for, so when I do have clients that said, they found a home in Illinois, and I connect them to another agent within our office who does handle the Illinois side.
Okay. And again, if you want to get a hold of Dot, it's 314-324-3317 and then email her, Fleshman@cbrealty.com. All right. I want to take a break. When we come back, we had so much fun with all of you to do, would you live in this home or this home? Dot's come up with some really fun ones that you do not want to miss. So don't go anywhere. More with Dot Fleshman when we return.
this lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And I love you. And I love you so much, Abby. Again, if you're looking for someone to do a personal training, I can do that for you. What you're looking at right now is Weingarten Vineyards. And we come back from a wonderful wine area, welcoming back to St. Genevieve. We're speaking of St. Genevieve. And by the way, they've got a really cool music lineup this weekend. So before we do our Mobile Monica on May 17th, you can go this weekend. Tomorrow, in fact, Vince Martin is playing there from 1 to 4. And then the next weekend, Abigail Tate, then Baker and Margot. Abigail Tate's back on the 25th, and Vince Martin comes back on the 31st. Wonderful music. And don't forget about your mama's Mother's Day brunch, May 11th, starting at 10 a.m., 10 to 4, a beautiful brunch buffet and a mimosa bar. Get it? Reservations are required and recommended for this. So Weingarten Vineyards, if you've never been down in St. Genevieve, we are going to be there on May 17th. So right now, start getting your family, friends, all your wine lovers together. It's going to be a blast, and it's stunning. So Jenny will drop in the information of how you can find Weingarten Vineyards. There it is in your moderation. She's so quick with this. Mobile Monica, May 17th. Come join us. We'd love to see you. And then take a look at their cabins and where you can stay on the property. So you go out there with some family and friends and then stay, and then wake up the next morning with just that beautiful view. Have you ever been to wineries in St. Genevieve, Dot?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
So pretty. So again, I'd love to see you all, because I know all these Monica's maniacs like to travel to all of our Mobile Monicas. So we'd love to see you there. Welcome back at 7:38. If you are just tuning in, Dot Fleshman again with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. Make her your or your loved one's real estate agent. Again, if you're looking to buy or sell, Fleshman at cbrealty.com, and go online to .fleshman.com as well. All right, you ready to play a little hot seat?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I thought right away that I would know my answer to the first one, but I'm kind of back and forth, so I don't know if I'm going to change. Okay, this is for all of you, all right? So no matter what platform you're on, if you want to type in your answer, feel free to do so, because we'd like you to interact with this. Okay, so Dot, take us through this one.
Okay, so this is a little tiny home on the beach. It's a remote beach. It's solar powered, and it's limited Wi-Fi. So pretty like out there.
So disconnected to the world, but in peace and tranquility.
Correct.
Okay.
Or a sprawling castle in the mountains, but it's in constant state of renovation. And so there's lots of noise and hammering and jackhammering. That's the house you get to live in, but you also get the noise with it.
Okay, so let me think. That's gorgeous and it's big, but I'm in a place where we just talked about downsizing. So I'm on the beach all day because I love water. What's your answer?
Beach.
Beach as well. Okay, how about all of you? Feel free to drop in. Would you want to be in the beach house, but very limited Wi-Fi, so not a lot of connection to the outer world, or that massive castle, but bum, 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 bum. Noise crazy. Linda says beach. Well, again, we'll give you the opportunity. Do you want the beach or do you want the castle? It'd be interesting. Kids, what do you think kids would say?
I don't know. That castle is really intriguing, and it's really cool to be in this big, massive, lots of rooms. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. I mean, you'd open every window and look what you would see. But I don't know that noise would get to me.
I think at some point you'd be like, all right, I've had enough. Stephanie says beach. Rose says castle. Always intrigued with castles. Castles are amazing. I don't know. When something's so big, I think you just lose connection to those that you love. And you're like, which wing of the house are you in? I can't find you. But yes, the view is amazing. So again, you can answer that one, beach or castle, and you can answer now or when you watch later. Okay, Anne says good morning, and she says the beach. Looks like the beach is winning. No, I'm sorry, Rose said castle. So we've got one for castle. So all of you, whether you're, again, just signing on, watching live, or you watch later, feel free to answer these questions, castle or beach. Okay, let's move on to the second one. I love this staircase, by the way.
Okay, so you have a historic lighthouse with ocean views, but it's a never-ending spiral staircase. So that's what you're constantly going up and down.
Hey, that's good leg work. You
Yeah,
have amazing glutes.
I know, of course. Or a futuristic home, which is amazing nowadays with the smart homes, but it glitches randomly and it's constantly locking you out of rooms because it's technology.
It's locking you out of rooms. Okay, I would get frustrated with that. I have no problem with the spiral staircase at all. That's me. What's your answer?
No, I don't know about that spiral staircase.
Oh, come on. Look, if you all don't know, by the way, Dot and I met by her hiring me as her personal trainer. So I would live there with you and we would do it. It would be okay.
I would be forced. I think I'd be so angry every day. I'm like, is there an elevator? No.
Nope, no elephant. Now remember, I know you were not a fan of it when I made you do pull-ups
I know.
incessantly, but remember how your back looked.
I know. It's like
Now,
you
your
eventually get there.
What?
You eventually get there.
Yeah, and then your husband would always be in front of me, Dot. Your glutes look good.
That's right.
Oh, Kristen says lighthouse, beautiful view, agreed. Linda says spiral staircase. Kristen's answering the other question about the beach. And again, you can answer the beach or the castle. You can answer the lighthouse with the beautiful view and the spiral staircase, or that futuristic home. Jenny says only you would think of glutes when you see that. It's always the personal trainer mindset. Rose says futuristic. No, thank you on the staircase. Okay, so Rose picked castle and Rose picked futuristic. All of you, again, feel free to comment on this, the hot seat that we're putting you in. All right, what's the last one here?
Okay, so the last one this is really cool, shipping container mansion. So basically it's made from stacked shipping containers, but it's gorgeous. Look at that. But there's no HVAC. So there's no furnace or air conditioning. So it's just all a la natural.
No. Well, I don't know. Hold on. I looked at this when we were driving back home. This one's hard for me.
And then the second one versus a mid-century modern home, which is basically from the 1960s, still has pink bathroom, green kitchens and appliances. It's right out of the movies from, back in the days, but during downpours, so not all the time, but when it rains hard and heavy, it floods.
Okay, hold on. We're going to do this again for you. So this is the 1960s, a pink bathroom, as you're seeing, green kitchen appliances, of course, remember all of those, right out of the movies, flooding during the downpour of rains. That's that mid-century modern time capsule. Or, because a lot of people always say, oh, I'd like to live in a mansion. I still want to know what constitutes a mansion, by the way. I'm going to have you answer that. Mansion. So the shipping container mansion made from stacked shipping containers, but no furnace and no air conditioner. So of course my question is, where is that? What's the temperature on a regular basis? See, I got to add more context to it.
Yeah.
If it's freezing cold, which it doesn't look like it is because that's a beautiful view. If it gets oppressively hot, I don't know that I like that. I do always like a beautiful sunrise, sunset, the beach look and all of that. Okay. This one's a little harder for me. Let me let you answer first. What's your pick on these two?
I would have to go with mid-century modern. Have to deal with the flood when it rains.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, she's back to that. Let's see. All right, everybody, what's your view? See, I think everybody's thinking about this one a little bit longer. I'm going to I like the view on the other one. It's so pretty, but I don't like not having, see, we're so spoiled, not having a furnace and not having air conditioning. I don't know. I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to pick this one just so that I don't pick the same as you.
I mean, growing up, there were so many people that just didn't even have air conditioning. We had window units, remember?
Yeah.
I don't know. We grew up with a window unit, like literally.
We got soft over the years.
I mean, I think we have. Once you get air conditioning all the time, it's almost hard to go back. But I mean, people live that way.
Okay, let's see. Linda says shipping containers. You can put in a wood stove and lots of fans. Okay, if you have that option. She said, I agree. It depends on the area. Okay. Jen says beach, pass and hard pass. If the pink potty room is in the desert where it never rains, then it's okay. No, it evidently rains because you got some problems with flooding. These are fun. Dot, where do you come up with these?
Well, I just trying to figure out like like what would be, there's a lot of different houses out there. And when you look at them, there's a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is exactly my style. And other people look at it and they're like, no, we're out. I mean, I've shown, two different couples the same house, and one couple loved it and the other couple was immediately not even wanting to see the rest of the house. They're like, no, I'm out. So I mean, everyone's got what they're looking for, what they dream of. Or really, Monica, what's very important is to be able to walk into a home, look at it, and envision your stuff there. Envision your smells, not the smell that's in the house. Someone says, oh my gosh, it smells like someone smoked, or it smells like there's a dog in the house, or it smells like, those are those people's smells. You're going to have your own smell once you move in. It's like your cologne, and it's your, what you wash your clothes with. And, it's just your smells. But you have to be able to envision, if it has wallpaper, envision the room without the wallpaper.
Yes, you have to.
And you have to, if you hate the floors because they're kind of orangey looking, envision them dark cocoa brown. You have to envision that when you walk in. And so I think what happens is, if you have a hard time envisioning things, I walk people through that.
Yeah, you have to. Well, that's the biggest thing, because, it's also the reason why you tell people to streamline when they are listing their home. Don't leave all your clutter in there. It's hard for people to look beyond it. But it's the same thing as, when you're designing, you're doing something, you've got to envision, here's the after. This is what it will look like, right? It's not this space right now. You got to see yourself in it. Visualization techniques are very, very key with this. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Fleshman, one of our incredible sponsors that we want to thank. And when it comes time for you, and it might not be right now, but you hang on to her information so that she can be your real estate agent. Yes, Jenny just did the hashtag that I love, which is getting real with real estate execs. And this is ours. Jenny says you can always make any house a home. That's right. It starts as a house, then it becomes a home. Okay, we've got a lot of holidays coming up in the month of May. We want you to get ready for them. I am so sorry that I'm going to miss you for one of them that's on tap tomorrow. So we'll talk about that. And then one that's coming up on Monday, and then one that's coming up the following weekend. So don't go anywhere. More with Fleshman on this Friendship Friday when we return.
Being on this show with Monica created such a heart-centric experience. I feel elevated. I feel more in tune, more connected with people. I really enjoyed how Monica brings in the audience and how Monica's viewers are just incredibly engaged. And so it actually creates this community and a conversation that is so enjoyable. You can see, Monica get excited. And then as her guest, I was getting excited. And then more and more comments were coming in from Monica's incredible, loyal audience. And it just created this uplifting feeling to start your day. So much of our news is negative. So much of what we're allowing to enter into our brains through our TVs, through our radios, through social media is negative. And what is refreshing for me in joining Monica on her incredible show is just the focus on the positivity. It is an honor to be on the Monica Adams, the real Monica Adams show, and also to just be able to engage with Monica's audience, because this community is full of love and full of people who want to help each other.
Well, and I love our community. That was Stephanie Seek, by the way. Check her out. She's a love and a life coach, and she is phenomenal at that. We really, truly had a wonderful conversation. And I tell you what, I'm super blessed. We went to Fredericksburg, Texas, just came back, and we went there and met people that obviously were strangers before, but left as incredible friends, longtime friends. And I give that all glory to God because, again, he raised me right by my mama, and I will always have that heart that I just welcome people in. So thank you, Stephanie, and thank you to all that, again, are continuing to spread the word of the show. So I'm going to go back because I'm looking at some comments that have come in on our other platforms. Jennifer Bondi was on LinkedIn and said, timing is everything. Excited to see this month's insights from Dot. Is that a friend of yours?
Say the name.
Jennifer Bondi? No? Okay, good. Well, Jennifer, I'm have to look into Jennifer. She's on LinkedIn watching us this morning, and just was.
Jennifer, I mean, sometimes I know Jennifer's, but I don't know their last name. But Bondi doesn't sound familiar, does
Well,
it?
Jennifer, if you're still watching on LinkedIn and you have any, again, I'm glad they're popping in. And
Yeah.
a lot of times I only see Facebook and YouTube when I'm live. But Jennifer, I hope you're enjoying these and hoping you're having fun with us on the LinkedIn. Kyle wanted to know if I am celebrating Derby Day. So Kyle loves big, gorgeous hats. You know, I love my fashion. And I used to have my gorgeous cobalt blue one that was made by Hats by Diane. There's no better person to get a hat from than the wonderful Hats by Diane. I don't have a Derby hat that's different from ones that I've shown you already, Kyle, because I can't go to the Derby. Can't go down to Kentucky, but it's not even that. I can't even watch the Derby because we're so darn busy tomorrow. You, however, my friend, will be celebrating Derby Day with our friend Michelle. And here are some beautiful hats that we've had on in the past. So there you go, Kyle. There's at least a picture of one for you. You will be celebrating tomorrow. And as you had mentioned when we just signed on, I'm sorry that I'll miss you tomorrow.
Yes, I will miss you tomorrow. But tomorrow we're going to be at Michelle's. We're going to have our hats, and we're going to celebrate that 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. The run for the roses. It is a blast. Now, when you are watching, do you pick a horse beforehand? And if so, do you pick it by here's a question for all of you. Here's another hot seat question. When you watch the Derby, do you actually do research and like, oh, the jockey did this, the horse did that, they're coming off of this, or do you just pick a fun name? What's your answer to that, Dot?
So I will be honest, I never cared before I went for the drinks and the food. But last year I did. So last year I did pull up and do some research on all these horses just because I was a little bit more intrigued. And of course, I think my horse came in like, not in the winning. It's like I looked at the horse by the name, like how cool is that, kind of a cute name, or have they won before and stuff like that. But I think there was a surprise last year, if I remember.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And you sit there and think the horse, comes straight out of the gate. Oh my gosh, look at this big lead. And that one's going to win. No, it's going to tire out a lot of times. And you look for the ones that are back. And then the jockey plays such an incredible role of, here it is. Oh, I just got chill. Here it is. Here it is. Now make your run. And it's down the stretch they come. And it's so exciting. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, I am going to be emceeing and very blessed to MC and auctioneer the Care STL Gala, which is down at the Four Seasons. We're going to be heading down. We are staying. Michelle and I were texting. We were laughing. She's like, you just came back in town. Your dogs are going to be so confused. They'll be back with you for a night and then you're gone again. I'm like, they'll be with Mama Jackie. That's the good thing. And then if we get down there fast enough to change clothes, we might be able to watch, because it's only 2 minutes. We might be able to watch the race before we take care of the doggies. Let's see. Somebody is, Jeannie, who's now a diehard watching from Texas. She said, good morning, all. I have the spiral staircase and I love it. Do you have it that big, though, that goes on forever, Jeannie? She said, I just figured out if I watch on Instagram, I'm not in with you all. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So watch us on Facebook or whatever channel makes the most sense for you. Kyle, I just answered. I do not have a big Derby hat for this year, but yes, I have several. So do you have your dress and your hat all picked out?
I'm working on it.
Oh,
I'm always the last minute.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing pictures. You're going to look stunning no matter what. So that's, of course, coming up for all of you that are big Derby fans tomorrow. And then Cinco de Mayo. Tell us a little bit about Cinco de Mayo.
So Cinco de Mayo is May 5th. So celebrate Mexican. Basically, it's a celebration of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire of the Battle of Puebla in 1862. And it's not, which is what I thought it was, Mexican's Independence Day.
Nope.
So I thought it was Mexican Independence Day, but that is September 16th. So it's very interesting to understand what some of these holidays and fun events that we're going to come up against and what we think they're for.
Yeah.
And the next two are even more, interesting.
Well, yeah, and that is. So when anybody ever goes to celebrate Cinco de Mayo and they go to get margaritas, they go to have, wonderful food, they always say, "Oh yeah, congratulations." And they're like, "No, no, 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 that's not it. It's actually September." So
Right.
get that straight, folks. I was
Right.
in Cabo San Lucas, just leaving right as Cinco de Mayo time period. And I heard everybody behind the scenes, telling all the staff, yeah, Independence Day. And they looked over and they're like, "No."
Right. Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So what you think it is.
Yes.
So yeah.
So do some research on that. Okay, so we got, again, this weekend we have Kentucky Derby. So it's a busy one. It's a big party month, by the way. It's the Derby Day and then Cinco de Mayo. Then it goes into Mama's Day. So
Right.
Are you doing anything special for Mom?
So we're doing stuff with Mom for Mother's Day. We always go to her house and, celebrate her. And even though Mother's Day is for all of us, really, it's like, our mom,
Yes.
my mom. But
Mothers,
Day,
mothers-in-laws, brand new mamas. I'm just going to say this because you all hear me say it every year. Remember those that weren't blessed. And I do mean the word blessed to be a mother. Remember them and check on them because that's not the easiest day for them. So you have both. You have the blessings of the mom that you have and you celebrate her. And then you do a little meditation and have a conversation with God and say, okay, you didn't want me to be a mom. So what is it you want me to do? And I have that conversation with him all the time. We go from that Mama's Day.
Before we do that, I want to tell you something about Mother's Day. What's interesting is in 1868, Anna, who is Ann Jarvis' mother, basically the whole thing with Mother's Day is the connection is about the war. And I never knew that. So when I was researching, well, what is the purpose of Mother's Day? I mean, it's just another day to celebrate someone, how we have all those national holidays.
Yeah.
However, it was basically back in the day where it was called it was called Mother's Friendship Day. And Mother's Friendship Day was to celebrate these women who lost their sons during the war. So, and they put up a flag. So they put up a flag and they celebrated these mothers and they called it Friendship Day. And that was because they lost their sons during the war. And so it was this whole thing. And so in I forgot what year it was. Maybe I didn't write it down, but President Woodrow Wilson is the one who created a proclamation to make the first National Mother's Day, where you put out your flag and you celebrate all mothers.
Look at that. She's a history buff as well.
I mean, like sometimes you just wonder, like, what's that holiday for? Like, what's that, because it started with the whole National Siblings Day or National Potato Chip Day, National, whatever day.
Because you're a potato chip fan.
I was like, well, how did we get to Mother's Day? Yeah. Don't worry. Next year, next month, we're going to talk about Father's Day.
Yes. We always have the balance. So this time it's mamas. Next, don't forget your dads either. And then we wrap up with this one. And remember, I'm going to say this because when we were in news, we always made sure to say, you're not celebrating Memorial Day, right? It is to honor Memorial Day. But people talk about, I'm celebrating and we're opening up the pool, the unofficial start of summer. My husband always thinks of Memorial Day and goes off to the Indy 500 because that's Memorial Day weekend. Yes, I understand. You all pop, it's tradition. It's American pie. It's hot dogs, popping your Bud Light or your Budweiser, more so Budweiser, your Busch, whatever. You're having your drinks and getting together with family and friends. We do want you to celebrate that, but I also want you to remember. So talk about Memorial Day, Dot.
So what's interesting about Memorial Day is it started out being called Decoration Day. And Decoration Day was where all the women and they mourned those that they've lost. And so they went and they decorated, all the tombstones with all these flowers. And so eventually it went from Decorations Day to Memorial Day. And yes, we call it the official, opening of summer. But really it started out as National Decorations Day.
Yes, and it is more for those that have men and women that have served for us. It is more of a somber one because they think about those that have passed. And I'm just going to tie this in. I mentioned the National Pacific War Museum, and we're talking about World War II. They have a new exhibit called The Rescue, and you walk through and hear this story about these this family and all this chaos going on around them and guerrilla kind of warfare, and then going in and being rescued and getting underneath in the submarine. You sit into this room and you feel like you're in the submarine and it's going down below. They even had Mama Jackie got a little wet because it was like splashes of water. It was so neat. So if you go to Fredericksburg, Texas, please put the National Pacific War Museum on your list. They also have a Japanese Peace Garden, which I think you would love. And I was honored to walk through that with a brigadier general. Wow. So remember the men and women, and there's plaques and memorials. It's like about 6 acres that you walk through, and you're seeing all the pictures of those that are maybe still alive and then those that have lost. And you think about all the memories, the experience, the legacy. So do not forget what Memorial Day is really about. Honor the veterans, honor those that have laid their lives down, the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, because that's truly what that weekend's about. I love it. Jenny just said, Dot, you're like a walking history book. I learned more on Friendship Fridays than I did in school.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So as you mentioned, next month, June, she will be back with us on June 6th, and we'll be talking about Father's Day. And then again, any ideas of what you want to talk about with regards to the real estate market? Anything that's kind of been hot seat mentality?
Well, I think what would be great is if anyone has something they'd like me to talk about, if they can just plug it in and I'll take it and I'll pull it up and see if we can chat about that next month. Yep. There's so many topics to talk about. It's so vast. You just got to pick and pull a little bit because, we're limited on time, but I can talk all day on it.
Yep, absolutely. And as I mentioned, I know a lot of you get a chance to watch live. Some of you don't. Don't forget to do us a favor. The greatest thing that you can do to make this show, again, be exactly what you all want, which is to grow and grow and grow and to reach people all over. We go into different areas. We can do our mobile Monicas, as you now know, from literally anywhere. So do what it says right there. Please share, like, and follow our live stream, 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. We're here to inform you, as she's doing, to spread kindness as we do, to give you hope and love and share the peace and the kindness and the love all around the world. So we love having you with us for sure. Dot Fleshman, let's give you her information one more time so you can get a hold of her. Fleshman.com. Fleshman at cbrealty.com. And the phone number is 314-324-3317. Can't wait to see your pictures online of the beautiful big hat and the dress that you and that Michelle wear. Have a wonderful time of that. I can't wait to raise some big money to take care of the dogs with Care STL. And we also are going to be cooking tomorrow. So here's what I brought back from Texas, Dots. I know you love to do your baking and cooking. So this cookbook, Cowboy Cookbook. Look at look at those cowboys. So John Wayne's on there and so many others. Over 300 recipes from the world's greatest cowboys. I don't know what we're cooking yet. This is going to be very spontaneous, but we're doing this tomorrow. And my hope is to do it live at noon from Slyman Brothers. They are celebrating 60 years.
Right.
60 years in St. Louis. Yep. So we're going to be at the South County location at noon. And then at 4:00, Cam Jansen, do you know that name? If you're a Blues fan, Cam is a former St. Louis Blue, and he's with the Blues alumni now. He's going to be doing his cooking segment at 4:00. Again, I don't know if his is live, but I don't know if I can wrangle Jim into doing it with me or Mama Jackie, because they'll be around. But we're going to have fun. I don't know how it's going to come out because I've never made it before. I just grabbed a cookbook from Texas. So wish me luck, Dot.
It'll turn out perfect.
Linda, yes, we did. She said, did you visit that museum Wednesday? Wednesday was the 50th anniversary of the ending of the Vietnam War. We actually did, and we are going to be airing that piece next Thursday. We will be airing pieces that you didn't see and then doing our recap show. So yes, get ready for that. The museum is awesome, Jeannie. Yes, I loved it. And I'm going to be taking Dot to Fredericksburg, Texas very soon. Yes. Happy Friday to you, Jeannie. I hope you have a fabulous one as well. Dot, thank you so much. I love you.
Love you too.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you choose since we did the hot seat. I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Do you want Jesus Listens or do you want Jesus Calling?
Let's do Jesus Listens.
Jesus listens to us. And we'll also let you know about some other Mobile Monicas coming up because it is going to be a busy May, June, and July, and more to come. We are not stopping. In fact, we are just getting started with how busy it's going to be for the summer and where we're going to take this show. Love you, my friend. I hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Joe Thomas here with Weingarten Vineyard here. Just had a great day at the set of the Real Monica Adams show. I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest word for the day for me is passion. You can see with her craft of how passionate that she is to provide a different view from what she had done in her past career, now in a new career. She made today so easy, and it was easy for me as well, because we share that passion for what we do. When it's doing interviews on set, giving a different view on life, essentially, and different experiences for you guys. Today could not have gone better. I most definitely encourage you guys to continue to tune in to her shows, and maybe you'll see me back again. You will see me back again. Sorry, Monica.
You're funny, Joe. Yes, you will see him, Joe and Sharon and the staff at Weingarten Vineyards. We mentioned it earlier, but I'll put it back on the screen for you. Again, we are going to be at Weingarten Vineyards coming up on May 17th. It is one of many mobile Monicas to come for you this month, and it is one of the first that will be coming up. And then we've been talking about our new friend, Dr. Shadi Hawatma, beautiful place that he owns. It is Osiris Med Spa in Creve Coeur. We're going to sit down with him. It'll be an 8 a.m. show that day, so we won't be going on at 7 a.m. So mark it on your calendars if you're like, where's Monica at 7? 8 a.m. We're going to be with him, and we're going to talk about myths. See, Dot did the whole little hot seat and this or that. Well, he's going to talk about what you hear, again, what you believe on the internet about these weight loss drugs, and actually more to come of what's out there. So there are people who need these from a diabetic standpoint. There are people who are morbidly obese, and have done everything they can. They are looking into having someone help them. And you should, by the way, someone in the medical industry, do not go online and try to buy something and inject yourself and you don't know what's happening. So we're going to do some myth busting about the weight loss side. And then we'll have another show coming up with him. We'll talk about Cool Peel. Yes, I'm going to have that done. I actually put a reel out. I'm still waiting for all of you to let me know when you have had it done. So you and your girlfriends, maybe a great Mother's Day present, buy a gift certificate for your mom to experience the Aveda Head Spa. Did you see that reel? Oh my gosh, it was like just luxury. It felt amazing. My hair looked incredible, and I can't wait to go back and do it again. So Osiris Med Spa will be there with them on May 21st. The next Wednesday, I'm going to shout out to everybody right now. If you would like to have a before and after, who doesn't love a good before and after? Women, I need you to be with us for the morning show at 7 o'clock. And all you have to do is just stand there and look pretty. We're going to get you all pretty. You'll go in with the way you're used to dressing. And then the ladies at the Vault, which is, again, in that Richmond Heights, Brentwood area, they will be walking you through and then putting you in what they envision you to be in. And we'll show the before and after. And we do that live. It is such a good time. So the Vault is coming up for you again on May 28th. I'm looking forward to that. And then Brian McKenna Day, which will be on March 31st. If you have not looked into that, we are going to be talking with his best friend. And I'm truly honored for this. Barbara is her name, but she's known as Babs. And Babs will be on with us Monday, as well as Dr. Sarah Jensen with Regional Dermatology. I'm so looking forward to having her back. We're getting ready to go into summer. Great time to be talking to a dermatologist for sure. So coming up on Monday, we have 2 segments. We're going to have Dr. Sarah Jensen to start, and then get ready for your skincare questions. And then Babs, we're going to sit down and remember the incredible life of Brian McKenna, their amazing friendship, how it ever came about, and the show that they did together on Thursdays at 4 p.m. It's probably going to be a very emotional one, and we'll tell you all about the day. May 31st, Brian McKenna Day. Please mark it on your calendar to be there. There's going to be a ton of people, and we'll all make our way to Francis Park. The family will be there. It will be a remembrance to him. And a celebration as well, though, of his life, because that's exactly what he would want. Be sure to always keep an eye to the comments, by the way, because Jenny does a really wonderful job giving you all the things you need so you don't have to go looking for them. And then we've got more shows coming up, but I don't want to overload you. More great shows coming up next week as well. All right, Dot picked Jesus Listens to Us, and he does. We are in May already. So last time we read from Jesus Listens evidently was in April. So today, on this, May 2nd, this is how we wrap up always, a devotional for you. Dear Jesus, help me to be willing to go out on a limb with you, if that's where you're leading. I know it's the safest place for me to be. You've been showing me that my desire to live a risk-free life is really a form of unbelief. More and more, I recognize that my longing to live close to you is at odds with my attempts to minimize risks. I seem to be approaching a crossroads in my life journey, and in order to follow you wholeheartedly, I must relinquish my tendency to play it safe. As I seek to step outside my comfort zone, I need to cling tightly to your hand for your support and for your guidance, right? We always talk about laying that path. Do we walk it, or do we butt heads? Lord, please lead me step by step through this day and all my days. I've discovered that when I keep my focus on you, I can walk along perilous paths without being frightened. I hope that eventually I'll learn to relax and really enjoy the adventure of our journey together. You know, the Bible tells me that your protective presence will watch over me wherever I go. So my part in this whole adventure is to keep looking to you in confident trust. In your vigilant name, amen. So again, if you ever wonder these books that we read from, Jesus Listens from Sarah Young, the same. Sarah Young does the Jesus Calling books. And then we'll be back on set on Monday morning. We'll be reading from the 100 Days to Freedom books from Stephen Arterburn. Well, I love you all so very, very dearly. And I thank you for tuning in to the wonderful shows we did in Fredericksburg, Texas. Thank you all for watching those. And when you travel, put Fredericksburg, Texas on your list. I'll give you a full rundown next week of all the places that we love, the unique stops, the must-see stops, the must-eat at stops, the wineries to go to, the experiences with couples, girlfriends, or for your families. I hope you have a blessed weekend. And let's just say this. Come on, let's go Blues. They've got to win tonight. They're back home. So it's definitely been a series of home ice advantage. And it's usually that is who is coming out victorious. So they're back on home ice. Again, have patience as you're driving into downtown or into the city with all that's going on. Go Battlehawks, go Cardinals, go Blues. And then we're going to be tonight. Jenny, I'm taking her to the Fabulous Fox Theater for the first time ever in her life. And she's going to see Riverdance. We'll let you know how it is. Yes, Stephanie, you couldn't have said it better. Have a blessed weekend, my friend. And to all of you, God bless and be kind.